Hello, fellow YouTubers. Lego AWC Stop Motioner here. Welcome to viewers new and old. And today I'll be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series 86 Leader Class Megatron. As I'm sure you all know, in 2024, Hasbro released the 86 Commander Class Optimus Prime. And me personally, that's probably going to be my go-to G1 Optimus Prime figure for the rest of time. It does basically everything I want a G1 Optimus to do. But when he came out, I knew I was going to have to get a new Megatron because for a while my main Megatron has been the Siege one, but he wasn't in scale with the 86 Optimus, and obviously you got to have Optimus and Megatron in scale with each other. So I was kind of seeing this as a little more like, I have to get a Megatron more than, oh wow, this looks like such a good figure. I saw the reviews for it and they were generally positive and everything, but man, I was just not prepared for how amazing this figure was going to be. Got something to go along with 86 Optimus, but honestly, this guy might even rival the 86 Optimus for me. I know that's kind of a weird comparison to make, but just as a figure, I might be finding myself liking this Megatron even more than the Optimus, which is crazy. Anyway, with all that out of the way, I want to go ahead and get into why I love this figure so much. First off, his weapon storage. Again, I just feel obligated to show that off, but I won't be using that, especially this, because this is basically Megatron, and you know, that's weird to have a Megatron gun on a Megatron tank. Taking a look at the tank mode, though, I like it. I don't have too much to say on it, but I think it's a good looking tank. It does have wheels, so he can roll. I think it's a pretty clean looking tank for the most part. I mean, back here is a little iffy, but I don't think it's too bad. I think it still looks fairly cohesive. He does have a rotating turret, as he should. Nice Decepticon symbol there on the front. A little gappy here in the front, but not too big of a deal. Yeah, all in all, it's a solid tank. I can't ask for too much more in a tank. Getting into some comparisons, here we have one with the Siege Megatron, and as I mentioned earlier, this has been my main G1 Megatron since I got him back in 2019. And obviously these are very different styles of tanks because this is meant to be Cybertronian. I do appreciate how much more cohesive this one looks though. And also with this one, he does have a rotating turret, but it never worked that well because it just pushed this front section out of place. Whereas with this one, that's not an issue. So yeah, I don't have too much to say about it because these are going for different things, but just there's your tank mode Megatron comparison. And here we have a G1 cartoon accurate comparison between Megatron and Optimus. And then here's the actual comparison with the tank Megatron. And obviously this is something we didn't see in G1 because Megatron turned into a gun. Let's take the trailer off though to make this a little more fair. There, Optimus is, well, not counting the turret, seems like Optimus is a smidge bigger. I won't pretend to be an expert on how a tank should scale with a semi-truck, but I think these look cool together. And I think that's pretty much going to do it for the tank mode. I know I kind of breezed through this section, but again, I just don't have that much to say about it. It's a solid tank, and that's all there is to it. So, now we can get on to the transformation. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to go ahead, untab the arms from the cannon, take it off, then just hinge this section back, disconnect this. These will come into play later for the robot mode. Come right here, lift the feet up, flip the toes up, like that, and just go in and kind of angle this up so you can untab the legs there. Go ahead and come and untab the tank treads. And I will say this part is definitely better than going from vehicle mode to robot mode than the other way around. It's not bad, but I do find lining the tank treads up a little finicky. Not the worst thing in the world, but it is a little annoying. Next, go ahead, fold this down, then grab these, put them out, fold these sections in, close it up, And do the same thing on the other side. Just go ahead. It's on a double hinge. Just use that. And we'll first go ahead and close this up. And then there's a little tab right here that's going to go into that slot. And then there's a tab here that's going to go into that slot. Let's just double hinge it and then tab it in. Come on, stay together. Then hinge this down, hinge that back, and then just kind of squeeze this into place like that. It doesn't sit together, click together perfectly. It just kind of just push it until it stays. And go ahead, do the same thing on this side. Like so. Get everything pushed into place. Like that. And we're going to want to come here, fold this down, close this up, fold the legs down. The hip skirts just tab onto the back of the legs, so just go ahead and slide them down, fold them down, put them out to the side, rotate the waist, and then close this up, and fold this section up, then go ahead, rotate this, then disconnect the arms, put them up like this, go ahead and untab this front section here, so you can flip the head out. There's just this tab right here. It's going to plug in there. So just get everything collapsed. Do it properly. And then close this up. Fold this up. And then just go ahead, push the arms into place. Like so. Go ahead and open the arms up here. Rotate this whole assembly, and then fold the fists out, and do the same thing on this side. Then go ahead and grab this arm cannon, just plug it in right there, and then take this, go to flip that up. Now that's just going to plug in right here, and there we have Megatron in his robot mode. And what a robot mode this is. First off, taking a look at the head sculpt. Aside from the face looking a little smushed, I think it's pretty good head sculpt if the camera would just focus on it. Let's try turning. There we go. Yeah, I think the face details are captured there really well. And there's the Decepticon insignia, the detailing on the stomach area, the red on the elbows, and then the almost bluish gray, I think is what you'd say the lower legs are. That's what it looks like to me anyway. I do just want to mention something with the arm cannon that bugs me a little bit. I'm not really a huge fan of the arm cannon design. I'm sure it looks like this to accommodate the tank mode, but I wish you could slide this section down or something, because the back part of it, there's just too much of it, and I wish the cannon part was out more. But otherwise, I don't have too many complaints with this robot mode aesthetically, and I haven't even talked about what's arguably my favorite part of it. Look how clean this robot mode is. You can barely even tell that he transforms into a tank. Pretty much all that he shows are just the tank treads on the back of the legs. You have this guy displayed from the front, you're probably not even going to notice any tank kibble. That is just amazing. Taking a design based on the 80s cartoon and giving him an alt mode that he didn't have, and having such a clean robot mode, that is really, really impressive. And I have to commend the people who designed this figure. Now to get into his accessories, here we have the gun mode. This is an okay accessory. Again, I'm definitely not going to have him hold it because that's stupid. But what we have here, I think is good. I do kind of wish they maybe had a detachable piece that added the supporty thingy. I don't know what you call that section, but those of you who've seen his original gun mode, you know the part I'm talking about, hopefully. And here we also have his lightsaber that he used in the 86 movie. I think it's detailed well. I like how it looks. And you can have him hold it like so. Come on. Takes a little bit of force to get it into place, so I don't know how much I'll have him use it. But yeah, it's a cool accessory. The only thing is that I kind of wish he'd come with his mace instead. Because, yeah, I only used it in one episode of the original cartoon. His hand came out in the process of me putting the lightsaber in. Anyway, he had it only in one episode of the cartoon, but 86 Optimus had his axe that he used in that same episode, so it would have been kind of cool if Megatron had come with the flail in addition to the lightsaber. I don't mind this accessory at all, just would have been nice for him to come with his flail. I think I said mace earlier, but I meant flail. Now to get into his articulation, head is on a ball joint. Get a little bit of up, a little bit of down, get some side to side, can look right and left. Shoulders can do a full 360. They can go out to the side that far. You have butterfly joints, which always make me happy. Have a bicep rotation, an elbow bend, which goes over 90 degrees. Then some rotation here on the wrist. They're on ball joints, so you can get some upward movement also. And then he has the articulated, I don't know what you call this, just the segmented finger articulation for these fingers, and then more articulation for the index finger. I don't need finger articulation, it's not a necessity, but it's cool that it's there. He has a waist swivel. Legs can go forward that far, really good movement there. Back that far, really good movement there. They can go out to the side. You have a thigh rotation. Knee bends a smidge over 90. Ankle pivot. And because of the transformation, a little bit of forward movement on the feet. So honestly, not too much to complain about in the articulation department for me. He's got just about everything that I'd want. Now to get into some comparisons, here we have him with the Siege Megatron. Obviously, this Megatron is still pretty solid. He's in a different size class. He's a Voyager figure and came out a little while ago. But it's still impressive just seeing how far we've come since, well, specifically I started collecting Transformers, but also since we kind of entered this era that we're in, because I do feel like Siege kind of kicked off the era of Transformers we're currently in, just the overall looks and articulation. Just seeing how much cleaner this Megatron is, it's impressive. Quite impressive. I still like the Siege Megatron, though. I'm planning on holding on to him. And then they have Megatron with some other Decepticons. Here we have Earthrise Starscream and Siege Soundwave. And please excuse the state of my Soundwave. He has some unpainted 3D printed accessories I got off of Colts 3D. If you guys don't know, I don't think I mentioned this. I'm planning on skipping the 86 Soundwave. How expensive Transformers are getting. As I mentioned, I'm just debating which ones I want to update, get upgrades for, and which ones I'd rather just stick with what I have or update what I have. And honestly, I'm perfectly happy just adding some attachments to Siege Soundwave to give them a sort of Walkman mode. I'm good with that. Might notice I have Starscream holding the Megatron gun. And yeah, I like how these guys look together. I don't know if the scale is accurate to G1, because of course G1 did not have a consistent scale idea, so yeah, let's just not worry about that. And then here he is once again with 86 Optimus. This isn't really a scale reference, this is just posing them together because it looks cool. But to actually get into the scale, this is pretty much my ideal scaling for Optimus and Megatron. Megatron is taller than Optimus. It's noticeable, but he's not towering over Optimus, and that's kind of how I prefer it. Anyway, these guys look really awesome together, and I have to say it is kind of interesting. The back kibble on 86 Optimus did not bother me. It's far from being the worst back kibble I've ever seen, but it is kind of crazy how we have a commander class figure that has more back kibble than a leader class figure. I made a lot of unfair comparisons where this Optimus compared to other figures, but this is a little more fair because we have a figure that's in a different size class and is cheaper than this figure, and he's a lot cleaner. Again, not that this back kibble ruins the figure for me in the slightest. I still love this Optimus, but just something kind of crazy. Now, before I get this figure on the display, I did just want to mention something that I forgot to touch on earlier. This sword can store on the back here, and this is probably how I'm going to display him because, I don't know, Transformers having swords just sticking out, and it just kind of messes with the display, so probably gonna go with this. Anyway, I'm going to get him on the display and give my final thoughts. Alright, there we have my 86 Megatron with one of my G1 Decepticon displays. Really like how he looks there. It's nice to have a Megatron that is noticeably taller than the rest of the Decepticons on the display because the Siege Megatron wasn't exactly towering over anyone. So, overall, do I recommend this figure? What do you think? Definitely. I think this is such a good Megatron figure. As I said, I did not expect to love him as much as I did. I think the tank mode looks really good. I don't have too much to say about it, but I think it gets the job done. Transformation is really cool. There are some parts that are a little annoying. I find lining the tank treads up when going to tank mode a little annoying, and the arms take a little too much force to get untabbed, in my opinion. But it's still a really fun and decently evolved transformation. And this robot mode, it looks like Megatron jumps straight out of the original 80s cartoon for the most part, and almost doesn't even look like it transforms. Again, he barely has any kibble to show, aside from on the back of his legs. Very, very clean robot mode. He also poses well. Yeah, I'm really happy with the robot mode. Biggest complaints. I just wish the cannon looked a little more accurate. I wish the actual barrel part stuck out more than the back of it. I don't know what to call those, but hopefully you get what I'm saying. And also, I wish he came with this flail. The lightsaber is a cool accessory. I'm not upset about having it. Just the flail would have been nice since Optimus came with his axe. But other than those nitpicks, this is a really, really good figure and is definitely going to be my definitive G1 Megatron. It's crazy how much I love this figure because I know this is going to upset some people, but I'm not even the biggest fan of G1 Megatron. I've grown to appreciate him more in recent years, but I definitely think later interpretations of the character do a better job with him. But as far as having a G1 Megatron figure goes, I am very, very impressed. Unfortunately, if you're wanting to get this figure now, despite the fact that he just came out last year, he's kind of difficult to find right now. The only things I saw where you could get him for the retail price are on Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth, and those are pre-orders, so I'm not even sure if those will come in. They probably will, but that seems to be the only viable options right now. Otherwise, you'll be overpaying to get him off of Amazon or eBay. So that's kind of unfortunate. Hopefully he becomes more accessible sometime this year. He might get a re-release this year. We'll see. But if you're able to get him for the retail price, I definitely recommend this figure. He is not one to be missed. But of course, that's just what I think of the figure. Please let me know what you think of the figure down in the comments. And if you like this video, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and God bless.